This month on Connections, we kick off the new year with another crosstown journey. This time we begin boarding a bus in the Loop for a refresher course on the rules of the road. Next, we ride the rails on the Red Line bound for a unique New Year's celebration, Chinese style. Our destination? Chinatown. Then it's back north with a look at the coolest, hottest, hippest way to pay your fare. And you'll meet two top CTA employees who make sure those revenue machines you use are working 24/7. As we make our way to our last stop, the Adler Planetarium, we'll show you how the CTA stays one step ahead of those dreaded winter storms.
Don't let the cold and snow keep you indoors. Get out and explore Chicago on the CTA. Hi, I'm Dale Rivera. Welcome to Connections, where you'll find out all you need to know about using public transportation in and around Chicago. If you've taken the CTA to the Loop, chances are you've passed by this famous spot. All year round and for all kinds of reasons, Chicagoans and visitors to our city are drawn to Daley Plaza, our first stop.
For nearly 4 decades, Chicagoans have gathered at Daley Plaza in times of celebration, protest, and sorrow. Positioned in the center of Chicago's Loop, Daley Plaza is a hub of activity all year round. The story of Daley Plaza begins with the early development of Chicago.
It's interesting history because even in the Burnham Plan of 1909, he talked about the need for a civic place for people to gather. And so finally in 1955, then Mayor Daley said, you know, we need a civic center, and then by 1966, we actually had Daley Plaza built.
Today, Daley Plaza is the location of holiday festivals, concerts, and political rallies. It's also a perfect meeting point or place to relax. The building adjacent to the plaza, Daley Center, has a history of its own. The structure is built of glass and steel in the modernist tradition of Mies van der Rohe.
It was one of the first buildings in America made out of Corten steel, which is actually a steel that was developed by the railroad industry for railroad hopper cars in the 30s. And it's just a perfect material in this kind of harsh weather climate of Chicago.
Daley Plaza is home to some noteworthy Chicago landmarks. The unnamed statue by Pablo Picasso, which sits at the center of the plaza, is often referred to as Chicago Picasso. From the very beginning, Picasso's statue sparked controversy.
We love it now, but then they said, is this an insult from Picasso? Is this a dog? Is this a woman? Is this a monster? What is it? Now, I don't think any of us really truly know. We all have our themes about what it is, but we all love it.
Daley Plaza is also home to another Chicago landmark, the Eternal Flame Memorial that burns in honor of soldiers who died in 4 wars. Daley Plaza is surrounded by famous Chicago businesses, department stores, and the city's Loop Theater District.
This is really getting to be the hub of the theater district. That's very exciting because we have the Oriental Theater, we have the Goodman Theater, and then we have the Cadillac Theater. So this is really a good place to kind of gather and meet friends and then go to the theater. It's just wonderful having this really wonderful resource in the middle of the city.
Now, if you're thinking of heading to Daley Plaza, remember the CTA is a great way to get here.
Here we have the Red Line and the Blue Line meeting, and also the elevated train. Then, of course, we have all the wonderful buses that surround this. It's probably one of the best areas, easiest areas to get to in the whole city.
Every time you step on board a CTA bus, it's important to know that your safety comes first. That's why the city has and enforces rules of the road that ultimately mean safe travels for not only CTA customers, but other drivers on the road as well.
Every day, the CTA has more than 1,900 buses on the streets, covering 148 routes. That's a lot of driving. Now imagine you're one of the CTA's 4,400 bus operators driving a virtual obstacle course on Chicago's roadways, and your main objective is to keep every one of your customers safe.
You have to be focused on what you're doing. When you're driving that bus, you have to be focused.
Shirley Hobbs has been driving a CTA bus for 30 years, and in that time he has seen almost every rule of the road broken by bad drivers, and ultimately that affects his customers.
It's the passengers who are being delayed by cars in the bus lane, cabs in the bus lane. It's the passengers being delayed. I'm already there. All I have to do is get them there safely.
There are rules of the road designed to keep traffic moving, but more importantly, keep everyone on the road safe.
If you think of a bus operator's job, they're driving a very big vehicle, a 40-foot vehicle. They're getting passengers on and off. They're making sure that they're safe. They're making sure that they pay their fares. They make sure that the announcement system is working. And at the same time, they have to interact with traffic.
If you drive a car, it's important to be aware of a few rules you must follow when driving near and around CTA buses. Rule 1. Remember that it is illegal to make a right turn in front of a stopped CTA bus.
Just from a common sense, a bus is going to load up and it's going to proceed straight down the street. So at that point, a car turning right hand, sometimes coming from behind the bus and may not be easily seen, becomes a very risky operation for the car driver and for our bus and our bus passengers.
Rule 2, cars are not allowed in bus lanes. The only exceptions are taxis that discharge customers or cars making a right turn without interfering with an oncoming bus.
It presents safety issues, potential of accidents with merging traffic. It slows down the buses, which certainly our customers want to go as fast as possible.
The CTA, together with the Chicago Department of Transportation, have implemented the bus lanes in Chicago's Loop, where hundreds of thousands of drivers traverse the crowded streets each day.
In order to prevent congestion, you need to keep vehicles moving, and bus lanes have proved very effective in allowing buses to move quickly through their routes, and that has a benefit not only for CTA bus service, but for all the other downtown traffic as well.
The message here? Take our bus, not our lane. And finally, Rule 3, do not park in front of a bus stop.
The nature of bus stops is allow a bus which is 40 foot and really needs about 120 foot area to get within what our standard is 18 inches from the curb to safely be at the curb.
I have to get the doors to the curb. And the senior citizen, it's very hard for them to board the bus when a car is in that lane.
CTA bus operators have a part to play in this as well. They're trained to follow not only the rules of the road, but also certain driving guidelines mandated by the CTA. Making a right turn in front of a CTA bus, using the bus lane, parking in front of a bus stop, these are all enforceable laws. And if you break them, you can be ticketed. And right now, under a pilot program, the CTA is testing cameras on buses designed to help the Chicago Department of Revenue catch violators. So remember, live by the law, but just as important, remember to use common courtesy.
Be considerate of the people getting on and off the bus. That's the main thing.
We're hopping on board the Red Line, heading south to one of Chicago's most vibrant and colorful cultural communities, where the New Year will be celebrated later this month. It's the one celebration in the city where you can ward off bad luck by simply wearing red. Our destination, Chinatown.
The architecture is unmistakable. The food here, unforgettable. Chinatown is simply unlike any other neighborhood in the city. Gene Lee knows that firsthand. He grew up here and remains active in the community. Gene is our tour guide for the day.
So Gene, tell me a few of the things that make Chinatown such a great destination.
Well, to start off with, we have 70 Chinese restaurants, fine Chinese dining, many different cuisines for Chinese food from China.
And how old would you say the community is? How long has this community been here?
It's my understanding that the first Chinese settled here approximately 1870.
Today, Chinatown is a strong, vibrant, family-oriented community. And from the moment you step off the CTA's Red Line onto the platform of the Cermak Chinatown stop, you know you're visiting a unique place.
This station has been so important to our community, not only for the visitors to be able to have easy access to come here, but just for the community itself to be able to go out into other areas.
In 2002, the Cermak Chinatown stop was adopted by the Chinatown Chamber of Commerce, and the commitment is reflected in the Chinese art that you see all around.
We took clear cellophane and covered the window panes on the platform, and they have art depicted on it that represents various Chinese landscapes and folkloric stories. We also have Chinese masks hanging up that represent the various Chinese opera and theatrical performances.
On your way out, be sure to check out the 2 Chinese food dogs guarding the station from evil. And on your way in, you can't help but feel welcomed by these tile murals.
To adopt the station really was a huge step for this community because it allowed us to really make this station stand out, to identify it as a cultural destination point.
New to Chinatown, another welcoming sign, the 9-Dragon Wall, just unveiled this month.
The 9-Dragon Wall, which is right next to the Red Line station, is it's the newest feature built here in Chinatown. It's another enhancement feature that we hope would attract tourists from throughout the city, the state, and the Midwest.
The wall is a replica of the famous 9-Dragon Wall in Beijing, China. Chicago and Toronto are the only other cities in the world to have one.
It was all handmade, imported, shipped from Beijing, China to Chicago.
Wow.
Just about everyone is familiar with the Chinatown Archway, but did you know that it's loaded with symbolism?
You notice that it's in green, red, and gold primary colors. The green tiles, the red panels, and the gold lettering. Those 3 colors come up again and again because in Chinese belief, they symbolize green for grass, foliage for life, red for blood, vitality and health, and gold is for the precious commodity of wealth.
Richard Crowe has spent a number of years studying Chinatown's unique flavor, and what intrigues him is the ever-present feeling of the supernatural, which some believe exists because of its location.
This is actually an Indian burial ground that they're on top of. So they have to take special magical precautions to make sure they don't have trouble with the unsettled spirits from the early days.
And to ward off maybe some of those unsettled spirits, I understand it's a tradition to wear red.
Oh, red is a very important color, especially for a traditional Chinese wedding. The bride never wears white at a traditional Chinese wedding. We wear white as Westerners, but white to the Chinese symbolizes bones and death, ashes. But red is that good luck number that chases away any evil problems.
Something else that wards off evil spirits?
This is called a bagua. This little wooden charm with a mirror in the center is hung facing out at your door.
You'll find it on houses up and down 22nd Place, considered Chinatown's most haunted block. But at the end of the block, there's a way to cast good luck on yourself.
You can see in the mouth of Mr. Foo Dog is a ball cut loose. And the tradition is that you roll the ball around 3 times clockwise. 3 times is a special spiritual good luck number for the past, the present, the future. Congratulations.
I feel lucky.
Congratulations. Now you go out and buy a lottery ticket.
All right.
If you plan on visiting Chinatown, January is a great month to do so. That's because the Chinese New Year will be celebrated.
January 22nd is Chinese New Year's Day, but the big celebration here in Chinatown will be January 25th.
At the center of the celebration, the Chinatown New Year Parade. It may be the year of the monkey, but the lion always gets a lot of attention.
So Gene, tell me the significance of the lion dance.
The lion dance is known as the traditional Chinese lion dance, and what it symbolizes is to welcome in the Lunar New Year.
The parade is always a great way to experience Chinatown. And while you're here, check out the Chinatown Library with its large collection of Chinese books, magazines, newspapers, videos, and CDs. And be sure to visit the many shops along Wentworth Avenue. It's easy to get to Chinatown on the CTA. Here's how. January is a great time to visit Chinatown. Let the CTA get you here.
The next time you venture out to explore Chicago and its great neighborhoods, you might want to consider bringing this along, the CTA Chicago card. It'll save you time and money, and all it takes is a little basic training.
There's a quick and efficient way to get on board the CTA, and customer John Nicewick knows all about it. He uses a Chicago card during his daily commute, so all he does is touch his card in front of a turnstile and he's on his way.
I don't have to worry about having change every day, shuffling for change, waiting in line for the vending machine. I can just come into the station and very easily get onto the train and get where I'm going.
The CTA's Chicago card is easy to use, easy to reload, and easy to replace.
The primary benefit to the customer is they don't need to take this out of their wallet. It's a radio frequency chip. It's a proximity chip. It will read through your wallet, it will read through your clothes, and you don't need to take it out of your wallet and dip it into the magnetic strip reader.
The Chicago card allows customers to quickly pass through turnstiles and board buses, and the card is easily reloaded at Farecard machines. But that's not all. Another great benefit is that your Chicago card can be replaced.
If the card is lost or stolen and you are registered with us, we will replace the card at the value that had on it when you notified us that it was lost or stolen.
Now, if you think the Chicago card sounds pretty good, hang on for a moment, because soon you can also buy the Chicago Card Plus. The Chicago Card Plus works just like the Chicago card, but customers will be able to add value using a credit card when balances run low.
Our customers will no longer have to go to the transit card vending machine. They will use their credit card or their debit card, hook it to their Chicago Card Plus, and they will be able to ride, never have to take cash out of their wallet, and all of the accounting will take place in the back end in an account that we set up for you, that you can manage yourself.
When Chicago Card Plus users sign up for a preset amount of $20, $40, or $60, they receive a 10% bonus that is set aside in their account. The card is also automatically refreshed for a set amount once the card is down to $10. There's also one more option for Chicago Card Plus users. They can get a 30-day CTA pass for $75, and this amount is also refreshed each month. If you're interested in the Chicago card, there are many different ways to sign up. You can order a Chicago card online at www.transitchicago.com. You can order by mail by completing a Chicago card brochure. You can purchase the card at the CTA's Merchandise Mart office, or you can order by phone by calling 1-888-YOUR-CTA. Look for the Chicago Card Plus to come online in the next few months. The card will also soon be available as part of the CTA's Transit Benefit Program. The CTA is the first transit agency in the country to offer an electronic fare card for buses and trains, and customers continually talk about its benefits.
When you use it every single day, you'll really notice the difference on how quick you get through the turnstiles, how quick you can load the bus, how much more convenient it is not to have to take the card out of your wallet. Every day, morning and night, it really adds up over time.
And now the Chicago Card Plus is another way to make your trip on the CTA even easier.
Everyone has to use a turnstile or fare box when boarding the CTA, so it's important that they're working at all times. Someone has to service that equipment, and this month we introduce you to 2 CTA employees who not only maintain and repair those machines, but do it better than anyone else. Thanks to Stanley Majewski and William Moore, you're always on the move.
As a CTA customer, the first thing you do before boarding a bus or train is pay a fare. So it's very important that these machines are always working their best. The CTA even has a special team of technicians that repair and test revenue machines on a daily basis to make sure their equipment is running smoothly.
So we're really like the first opportunity for a customer to see the CTA. So that is important. If they've got a good experience paying their fare, hopefully they'll have a good experience on the rail or the bus.
That's where William Moore and Stanley Majewski come into the picture. These 2 technicians won the automated fare collection section of the 2003 Bus and Rail Rodeos.
Well, I thought I could win it because I always told everybody I was the best guy out there. So that was my chance to prove it.
During the competition, William and Stanley went up against their colleagues and the clock to repair defects and troubleshoot on both bus and rail fare machines. They also had to contend with fake customers who distracted them from their work.
You
stop what you're doing, give them your directions, go back to work.
Both William and Stanley used to work in the field, servicing the fare boxes, Farecard machines, turnstiles, and vending machines that we use every day. Now, however, both technicians are in a shop working on major repairs, so the rodeo competitions were a great opportunity for them to show off their skills.
It's like the Olympics. You know, why do we have the Olympics? Because, you know, people are really good at what they do, and you know, this is an opportunity for them to show it and to compete against others and get rewarded for it.
The CTA currently maintains 2,500 electric fare boxes and Farecard machines on all of its buses. And there are both turnstiles and vending machines at all 144 rail stations. Still, even with all of this equipment, the CTA makes field repairs within an hour.
The CTA's goal is that once a maintenance job is called in to our service desk, which is a 24-hour location, a lineman is dispatched out here, and hopefully in a timely fashion we get the machine back in service so that our customers can enjoy the full benefit of the machines that are provided at each station.
So remember, the next time you're paying your fare on the CTA, someone like William or Stanley will always be on hand to make sure your trip is a good one.
I guess in a way, everybody should be happy that we get our jobs done.
Living in Chicago, it's inevitable that we're going to get snow in the winter, sometimes a lot of it at once. When that happens, the CTA is prepared to move into action, helping to keep your travel plans on track.
When the snow flies, the CTA has a comprehensive plan in place to ensure safe travels for customers. And it's all centered around this room, the CTA's Control Center, the heartbeat of CTA operations.
The thing that makes this work is the controllers, the employees that run this room. Without them, we don't really have a control center.
This is 55th North and South, all red line, be on the alert.
At the height of a storm, Control Center employees are buckling down, directing field operations to keep things moving as efficiently as possible.
We have a rail controller for each rail line, and we have a bus controller for each bus garage. And they keep track of the train movements on their particular route or the bus operations from their particular garage.
Following bus and train movements is made possible with the help of some of the most high-tech tracking systems available, as well as radar to track weather patterns. It also helps having a comprehensive plan in place. Thanks to the CTA's winter weather plan, everyone is on the same page, from controllers to the men and women in the field.
Our snow plan is our playbook. It outlines everyone's responsibilities. It has the key contacts of who to call and when to call when you have problems.
At the height of a winter storm, all 29 of the CTA's snowplows are put into motion, first clearing bus garages, then bus turnarounds. On the rails, things are just as busy.
We have 6 snow brooms that are stationed in various rail yards that we use to clean snow and ice off the track in the rail yards. We have lots of shovels and snow blowers, which we utilize both in rail yards and on train platforms and on bus turnarounds to help get, the snow cleared off.
For the CTA, the key to successfully handling the snow is communications, not only among CTA employees, but also with the City of Chicago's Snow Command.
We often communicate with them during inclement weather so that we know what streets are open and closed for our bus operations. The city's emergency plan is part of our emergency plan, and we work together not only with the 911 and 311 center, but through all emergency situations.
Communication with CTA customers is important as well. So when the big snowstorms hit, you can get route information by calling the CTA's customer service hotline at 888-YOUR-CTA, or visit www.transitchicago.com on the web. And remember, dress warmly and allow a little extra travel time.
Our biggest concern is always going to be for the safety of our customers and to ensure that we get them home safely at the end of the day.
If it's cold and snowy, hibernation is not an option when you consider that there's a whole other world out there to explore and a warm CTA bus that'll take you there. The Adler Planetarium is our last stop.
Could love be in the stars for you this Valentine's Day? The skies have showed us many things over the years, from astrological forecasts to astronomical wonders. Things that continue to fascinate us generation after generation.
I think because the sky belongs to everyone, and everyone can take time and look up and ask sort of the big questions that man has tried to answer since the beginning of time. I think that's something that really makes astronomy part of everyone's history.
The Adler is part of Chicago's museum campus, and it's easy to get to on the CTA. So bring your Valentine to the Adler in February. Wish upon the stars, and let the CTA get you there.
We'll tell you more about that next month, when we'll meet you right back here for the start of another Connections adventure around Chicagoland. I'm Dale Rivera. See you in February on Connections.
For more information about the CTA or to use the RTA's trip planner, visit our website at www.transitchicago.com. Or for customer service matters, call 1-888-YOUR-CTA. And for travel information, call the RTA at 836-7000 from anywhere in the Chicago area.